Hi, I'm Paul Perdue, and I am a nerd.
And I'm Mary Jo Boyd, and I'm a legal technologist.
And today we're going to talk about client funds versus trust accounting in tabs 3.
You know, one of the biggest questions I always get is, what do I use client funds for? What do I use trust for? When do I use one? When do I use the other?
You mean they're different?
They are. And you know, it all comes down to what bank account the money's going in. If it's going into your operating account, you use client funds. If it goes into the trust, you use the trust accounting.
So we're done? You don't need to show us?
Hey, maybe not.
Maybe you could, though.
I will.
Okay.
So like I said, one of the biggest things that we have questions on is, what is client funds and why would I need trust if I have client funds? Usually, if you are a firm that has very little IOLTA money, you don't put money into trust accounts for clients, you could possibly use client funds as your sole way to handle that. But if you do have a lot of IOLTA money, we recommend that you buy the trust module so that you can keep track of all of those transactions in and out of the IOLTA accounts. And you can have more than one, you can have as many as you want. And it also gives you the ability to write checks right out of that account, or to be able to reconcile that account with your bank statement. Client funds is a very simple way to keep track of retainer money or unearned funds that you will be applying to a statement later. And usually client funds are going into your operating account. It's money that you're going to spend, it's yours, but you just haven't applied it to a statement yet. So it's kind of in hold in client funds. So that's a little background on the difference between the two. And if you have both, then you could use both for different reasons. And that is why I say, what bank account is it going into? If it's going into operating, you should keep track of it in client funds. If it's going into your IOLTA account, you should keep track of it in the trust account module. Two simple ways to keep track of where it's going. So I've got a client on my screen right now who has client funds, and it shows I'm in Client Manager. It does show a little client funds balance here. If this were a client that had a trust balance, I'm going to go up here to our friend Michael Larson. He has a trust account set up. I can see his trust money. You can see he has nothing in client funds, but if I go to my AR balance screen, I can see that he has $7,000 in his trust. So I can still see the information here in tabs, all in Client Manager, as to what he has in his account, whether it's trust or client funds. And I can access client funds. If I wanted to deposit $500 into his client funds, I can actually access it right here from Client Manager, and I can make deposits. I can say I want a new transaction, choose my date. I would make a deposit into client funds, and this is money that is going right into the bank. This also can be set up in your General Ledger integration. So if you are integrating with General Ledger, you can have these payments automatically post to certain accounts, and then when it actually gets applied to a statement, you can have it come out of those accounts and put it to the correct fee, income, or cost accounts. So Client Funds is fully integrated with General Ledger, which makes it very easy to keep track of this money. So if I were to deposit $500 into this account and save it, that would show that he has a balance down here. It also shows me that he has work in process fees of $225, and he's got a negative account balance just because this is sample data, but now he has that money sitting in client funds. If I go back out to my Client Manager, I can see that money there. If I needed to go ahead and apply this to the WIP up here, there's 225 here and 220 down here. If I again just click on Client Funds and hit New, I can do a payment to the firm, and I can make it a WIP payment, so I can go ahead and pay whatever is due, that $445. And then it will go ahead and I'll save that, and it will take me right over to my payment screen, so I can apply that payment to the statement. So here it is, it's my payment code 900. It's already grayed out because it knows I have a $445 payment. I can save that, and when I come back out to my Client Manager, I now have $55 left, and it will, when I do the statement, it will go ahead and apply that. That is a payment that will be included on that particular statement the next time I do one. So that makes it very handy to keep track of my money that is in my operating that I just want to apply to future statements. This is a good place to put monies if you go in and put a payment in And it gives you that credit balance, and it's asking you, do you want to save this unallocated payment to apply to a future statement? Do you want to put it to client funds? What do you want to do with that credit payment? You could temporarily put it in client funds, and then when it comes time to pay that particular statement, you can just make a payment to the WIP, and it will clear that right out, and it won't go into that unallocated account if you're integrating with General Ledger. So that, and these client funds can also show at the bottom of the statement, which is very nice. When you prepare a statement, you can have a client fund balance, and it can show you what activity has gone on with that account. And that's the same thing with trust. If I go to trust, let's say I wanted to put that money into trust, I can open a trust account. All the clients that are in tabs are already over here, so you can just choose the client, and you can open up a trust account. It'll just tell you new, and you just save it. All the information comes from tabs. So I can save that, and I've now just opened a trust account for that particular matter. And this is a matter by matter basis. When I'm ready to move money or deposit money, it's just a transaction, trust transaction. This is very similar to our accounts payable screen. In how it works is opening, a vendor. Instead, you're opening a trust account for a matter. And then when you're ready to do any activity, you're going to the trust transactions. So here we can choose our bank account. Again, you can set up several different IOLTA accounts. We have some firms that have 8, 9 different IOLTA accounts that they use. You can set up as many as you want and tie it to different matters. So if this was just bank account 1, I can come in and I can make a deposit. All money going in is a deposit. All money going out could be a check, a credit card, or an EFT. So you can have different ways to get the money out. But I'm going to just say this is a deposit. Again, I'm just using my test data date. And let's put $100 in here. I can give it a description if this was a settlement or, whatever you want. You can put different description for your deposit of where that money came from. Save it, and now that is down in the trust account. This will create a deposit into that account, and then at the end of the month when you're ready to reconcile, this will show up on that reconciliation. Just like when you're reconciling General Ledger, you can go through and check all those entries off and balance right here in the system, which makes it nice. If I want to go ahead and apply this to a statement, I can go come in and make out a check or EFT, however you're transferring that money, and I can put the amount in, and it is going to transfer directly to this matter. If you have a general matter, you put this in, and you want to apply this to 3 matters underneath, you're going to have to do it a little differently. I can just give this a description. This is going to be my test. And the key to doing that, to making an automatic payment to the firm, is to set up a payee called firm. It's just FIRM, and that automatically puts in the address of your firm. But this code, by typing firm instead of Attorney Computer Systems or whatever your firm name is, tells the system that this is a tabs payment. We want to create a special tabs payment. And that also makes this tabs 3 tab up at the top here available. So I would make it out to firm, I would click on my tabs 3 tab, and it will ask me to verify that this is all regular payment, or am I going to split this between fees, expenses, and advances, and then I can have that $100. When I save this, it will automatically create a payment in tabs. It'll be sitting over there waiting for me. I'm not going to really save that one for now, but then I also want to show you if I came in and I wanted this to split between several matters, I would do the same thing. I could do my $100, but this time, instead of making it to the firm, I would actually type out the firm name, Attorney Computer Systems, Jim Jones Limited, whatever your company name is there, your law firm name. By doing that, the tabs 3 button is no longer available, and I don't know if I have attorney. In fact, let me just see what I have as a vendor, because we'll just pick somebody here. Let's say this was my log firm name. You'll see the tabs 3 button. I'm clicking on this tabs 3 button. It is not available. I can't go review that payment because I have not made it out to the firm. So that's how you kind of decide how you're going to move that money either to yourself or to a third party. So the trust module makes it very easy to keep track of all that IOLTA money, keeps you current with your state laws, all of that, so that you can get your balances. There's several reports that you can do in the trust module to get those balances for each individual matter. If you go into reports, the 2 biggest ones is Client Trust Ledger and the Trust Account List. Both of those reports will give you balances for each matter that you've set up a trust account for. And back in tabs, if you want to get a client fund report to see all the client funds that you have, there is a report for that as well. It is under Client Reports, and there is a Client Funds report. This report, you can set different parameters for it, different options of what you want to see and date ranges, and then you can sort it again by either primary or secondary originating. This will give you a complete list of all of the clients that have activity in their client fund account. And again, I just set it for everything. You can limit that to what you want to see. It's very straightforward. I've got it broken down by primary timekeeper right now, but you could say none if you just wanted a list. Gives all the opening balances, all activity, everything that's happened, so that you can keep track of that client fund money. So those are three good reports that you can do at the end of the month to find out what you have in there and what you want to move to the firm to pay yourself. So hopefully that's helped a little bit. If you have any questions, you can of course give us a call. And thank you. So that's client funds versus trust.
And that's just one more way that you can worry less.
And practice more.